Hey everybody, I hope y'all are feeling well. I'm feeling a little under the weather today, but as they say, the show must go on. The show definitely must go on because I got to get these videos done. I continue to work, y'all, even when I'm not feeling well, okay? So listen to this. We are 2 weeks away from the Diddy appeal hearing, okay? April 9th is his appeal hearing, and y'all, he could actually be released on that day. But we won't know until April 9th come, but I'm just saying because his attorney still argue that their client did nothing wrong. He did not participate in any illegal activity. They say he participated in voyeurism, which is actually legal with consenting adults in the privacy of their home or private place of choice. Okay. So they said it definitely was not prostitution. Okay. So you need to release our client. Okay. Take a listen to this video.
Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are appealing his conviction and his sentence. They have a court date scheduled for April 9th when they will argue for the release of the music mogul. A federal jury in New York City convicted Combs last July on 2 charges of transporting people across state lines to engage in prostitution. The jury found him not guilty of more serious sex trafficking charges. Combs' lawyers have argued their client's conviction should be overturned because Combs was engaged in voyeurism, not prostitution. Combs is currently serving his sentence at a prison in Fort Dix, New Jersey. He's scheduled for release in May of 2028.
Okay, for those of you who have not been keeping up with this case, I work in the legal field, so I love a good old criminal case, okay? With celebrities, regular people, I'm the type that watch the whole, if it's televised, I will watch the whole trial from start to finish. I don't care if it's 2 weeks long. I work in the legal field, so I love this type of stuff. And especially with a celebrity, it makes it even more interesting, okay? So, in case you've been living under a rock and don't know what's going on with this case, this is a very quick rundown, okay? So all of this started back in November 16th, 2023, when Cassie filed her lawsuit against Puffy, okay? Accusing him of all kinds of abuse, y'all, from the year 2005 to 2018, like a 13-year span. She accused him of everything under the sun, right? And domestic violence was definitely one of the things she accused him of, which he was very much guilty of. We all saw the video, okay? So the very next day, November 17th, he settled with her privately for $20 million, which we learned that in the trial, because they didn't say how much the amount was at first, but if you watched the trial or kept up with the trial, it was for $20 million, okay? So from 2023 to 2024, a wave of lawsuits and allegations filed against him from alleged victims. After she filed her lawsuit, everybody started coming forward, accusing him of different things with their lawsuits and all this type of stuff. I mean, all types of people under the sun, men, women, it was some stuff mentioned about young adults. And I mean, it was just all types of allegations, okay? People just coming out of woodwork just saying he did this, he did that, right? That went on for like a whole year. Okay, September 16th through the 17th, he was indicted on those charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution. And he was arrested. Okay, they showed the arrest on TV. They showed his home being raided. And I mean, they showed everything, okay? So if you were like me, you were watching with your mouth open like, oh, he's done. He's done. The world thought he was done, okay? Because the way they were showing that video of that raid and they had showing all these GUNs and all these people coming forward saying he did this and he did that. Everybody was thinking like, oh, he's a goner. It's over. It's over. No more bad boy for life, baby. It's over, okay? So May 2025, the federal trial began, and it lasted from May 2025 to July 2nd, 2025, when the jury found him not guilty of the serious charges and guilty of the Mann Act, which consisted of 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, okay? He was found guilty of those 2 and not guilty of the bigger charge, because the bigger charges, I think he would have done like a life sentence. So he was found not guilty. So that means his defense attorneys kicked butt, okay? If you can get him cleared of that, baby, you had a good legal team, okay? So October 3rd, 2025, he was sentenced to 50 months in prison, which is a little over 4 years. 50 months in prison, y'all. Some people felt like he should have gotten way more than that. Some people feel like that was, excessive. So it just depends on I think people were judging this case based on how much they liked him and not liked him, not what the law says, okay? You can hate a man's guts, but we have to follow the law when it comes to sentencing, right? You can't just say, well, I don't like him, so he should have done life. You can't do that, okay? So April 9th, which is coming up in 2 weeks, okay? Appeal hearing is scheduled at 10 o'clock a.m. in Manhattan, New York, to hear oral arguments where his attorneys would try to overturn or even reduce his conviction and sentence related to the Mann Act. So this is their time to say, yo, judge, listen. This is too much. We need you to change this. I mean, why he get 50 months when people in the past have never even gotten 50 months? So, like, what's up with this? Can you re-sentence him and put it what it should be? And if they put it what it should be, y'all, that means he could actually get out the same day because he's already been in there over a year now. Okay. So, his attorneys claim that he was treated harshly by the judge, and a former prosecutor agrees that the sentence is definitely excessive, and he does not know of any prostitution-related cases where someone has gotten years in federal prison, y'all. Listen to this.
In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment. This week, lawyers for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs urging a federal appeals court in New York to either order his immediate release and reverse his conviction or lighten his over 4-year prison sentence.
This appeal was expected, especially when the defense filed a motion for a new trial and a notice of appeal. And the arguments are attacking the conviction itself.
Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani tells us Combs' lawyers are claiming he was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges he was acquitted of influence the punishment ultimately handed down. His lawyers writing in part, quote, defendants typically get sentenced to less than 15 months for these offenses, even when coercion, which the jury didn't find here, is involved.
For a pure Mann Act violation, prostitution violation, a 15-month sentence is excessive. I can certainly recall no prostitution case where someone has gotten years in federal prison.
Now, the lawyers arguing the judge acted like a, quote, 13th juror, noting that Combs was convicted of 2 lesser counts, prostitution-related charges, but not sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, along with racketeering. The judge defied the jury's verdict and found Combs coerced, exploited, and forced his girlfriends to have sex and led a criminal conspiracy. These judicial findings trumped the verdict and led to the highest sentence ever imposed for any remotely similar defendant. During sentencing earlier this year, the judge did say that when calculating Combs' prison term, he considered the music mogul's treatment of 2 former girlfriends who testified during the trial. But Rahmani believes while the court could keep the sentence, they could also decide to step in.
There's the possibility that the Second Circuit looks at this acquitted conduct and says, you know what, Judge, you need to re-sentence this case without considering that conduct and remand it just for the issue of sentencing.
So, as you heard the attorney say, he has not known of any cases related to prostitution in the Mann Act to get 50 months. That's just ridiculous, according to this attorney now, because I let the attorneys, I do work in the legal field, but I let the attorneys talk. But I'm just saying, 50 months, they said, is just way too doggone much. And why you using conduct that was acquitted by the jury in his sentencing? That had nothing to do with, so if you re-sentence him without using that conduct, that should lessen his sentence right there, right off the top, okay? So anyway, let's hear from another attorney, okay, who says that not only should Combs get immediate release on April 9th, 2 weeks away from now, the prosecution should also be penalized for over-sentencing him in the first place. Okay? Because why y'all doing that? Because you're mad because you lost. That's what it is. You're mad doggone it because you lost. So now you want to try to over sentence that man. You know that sentence wasn't good. You know that was over sentencing him. But anyway, take a listen to this video.
Sean Diddy Combs is now asking for an appeals court for immediate release, saying that the judge defied the jury's verdict during sentencing. As someone who represented Combs before, you think he'll be successful?
I will tell you something. Part of one of the lessons that trial brought to me was just how effective his appellate lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro, is. She's the one who authored this brief. I've known Alexandra for a while, and I will tell you, she's one of the more impressive legal minds that I've encountered in 43 years of practice. Having said that, I think this brief reads compellingly. I think they've already somewhat expedited it or granted her request for an expedited appeal. Number one, that's a good sign. Number two, she's asked for immediate release. I think there's a potential there. Remember, when he was convicted of these two Mann Act violations, if you took a look at this, he actually rolled the dice. He won against the counts that carried a mandatory life sentence and would have basically forfeited his entire fortune. So he rolled the dice and won, and then he was enhanced in his sentence by the very conduct he was acquitted of. I think that's fundamentally unfair. In fact, if you want to talk about fairness, I think the prosecution should be penalized for overcharging him in the first place, and he should have been immediately released. That's just me. I have great affection.
Okay, so the lawyers have spoken. The news people have spoken. I've said what I had to say about it. People are talking about this. There are going to be some more people out there that's going to go to the trial. You know, if I lived in New York, I probably would go out there too and get me a little story going. But some of my favorite YouTubers are going to be out there covering the trial, and I'm going to listen. And some of the ones that I follow or that I'm subscribed to on YouTube, they got a chance to go inside of the courtroom. So they knew all of the courtroom. They knew the actual facts of what went down at the trial. They wasn't just out there reporting what they thought. They knew exactly what happened because they were allowed inside of the courtroom, or they were in one of the overflow courtrooms. I think they had 2 or 3 overflow courtrooms for the general public. And some of the YouTubers that I subscribe to, they were allowed in there. So I'm going to be tuned in to their channel to see what happened. I can take some notes and come back on here and do a video with y'all. But so there's a possibility that Sean Combs could actually be released April 9th. And I'm interested in seeing if he is released. Has he changed? Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to live his life in a positive way? Are we going to hear nothing but good things from him going forward? I mean, if you're going to get released and still going to act a fool, then what the heck? But I really do think this experience changed him. It should have definitely humbled him a lot from not being around all of his celebrity. You know, his lifestyle was so glamorous, to being in prison where you just order with the ordinary people, you know. So eating ordinary food. I know he's just praying so hard and just cannot wait to get back to his home and his family. He's got children, young adults, and he's got like a young daughter. So, you know, I'll just wait and see, because I've always been a Diddy fan. We grew up on, I mean, if you born in the 70s, 80s, we grew up with Diddy. Pretty much everybody that I know, you know, we're all Diddy fans. But, that don't mean I excuse the behavior. I do not excuse the behavior, because what I saw on that video, no. You don't get a pass for that. No, sir. No, sir. You do not get a pass for that. That was disgusting what I saw in that video. And I think by now he realizes, because sometimes people don't understand or they don't realize how awful they are until they see themselves in action. Think about it. When they're out there doing all of this bad stuff, they don't see themselves in action. They know what they're doing. But when you get a chance to see a video of yourself and what you're doing, that's a different thing. probably, mind blowing, enough to wake up somebody, okay? Wake you up like, dude, you really out here tripping. But drugs and alcohol can play a big part in that. So they said he had a major substance abuse problem. So, but since he's been away, he's been going through treatment and all of this stuff. And hopefully, what I hope that he does is takes some of what he experienced in prison to bring it on the outside and help the youth, clean up the youth violence and men, period, who are dealing with, or women too, who are dealing with, people in bad relationships. I mean, however he wants to do it, but some type of something, we gonna need some, your fans gonna need something from you. We gonna need something from you, not just to get out and see you back on the red carpet. That ain't enough. Now you owe your fans. So when you get out, we want to see some good stuff. We want to see some program. We want to see nothing but a law-abiding citizen, gentleman. We want to see all that. So don't slip. Don't slip, because you still got people that support you. So don't mess it up, because people still support you. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to let y'all get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, stay informed, stay encouraged, and stay true to yourself. I'll be back on here with another video, okay? Y'all have a good evening. Bye.